Well, hello and welcome back to the Mariner. Now, let's have a see, where are we? It's pretty windy, but we are still where we were. You can see over here, the mainsail cover here is just hanging on. It literally needs to hang on for another 2 days, and we're throwing it away, which is why I'm doing absolutely nothing to deal with it. I've had a pretty rough couple of days, I gotta tell you. I came out here, it's just Friday now, I came here on Wednesday, kind of said goodbye to the family. There was gonna be one stop off tonight. What we tend to do is kind of like start to slowly distance ourselves. It's very difficult to leave your 3-year-old child and your partner that you love to go and do something, but this is what I'm doing, this is what I want to do, this is what I was put on this earth to do, which is sail big boats far offshore. That's pretty bloody weird, but I see some pretty weird stuff on YouTube, so I'm not apologizing for it. And my partner believes it's something I can do, and that will be meaningful to me. And I want to do something that my son looks at later on and says, wow, you know, even if I don't do it, it's still something he can look at and say, Dad tried. So that's where I'm at. I get here on Wednesday with the idea of like getting everything organized and everything sorted out, and then get completely and utterly sick, and I've literally sat on the bunk, or laid on the bunk, or sat on this cooler, or actually laid on the floor in the kitchen for basically 2 days, feeling absolutely crap. I'm not sure if it's really that I'm ill, although my little one is sick at home right now, but I think it's also, I find when I kind of transition from one thing to another, like I almost need to kind of go into like a chrysalis for a couple of days. I've had this at other times in my life as well. Just kind of switch off from the world for a little bit, get my shit in one sock, and then I can actually move forward with the next thing. And it is, you know, this is an 80-foot boat, and I got to go and sail it solo. The forepeak looks like that at the moment, which is, those are the sails and things which I was going to use to get going with. And then I got them on deck, that's what I did on the first day, and then when I realised this weather was coming in, which is what's going on up there, and I was getting sick, I just threw everything back down inside the boat. So nothing is tidied up over here, none of the headlining's done, which I wanted to do. There are, it's good to say, about 500 packages at the house, which is what I was waiting for as well from Amazon and other places, which is all the other kit I need to do these jobs. But none of the food's properly on the boat, and because I was ill, and I'm smart enough to realise that with the number of miles I've got, I do not want to risk stupid things like my safety to get in a dinghy to drive downwind in 35 knots and then try and come back up in it to you know, go shopping. So you just go hungry, or try and choke some of this crap down whilst you're not feeling well. This is these dehydrated, what this is the leftover, no one wants to eat it, these ones are horrible adventure foods. A lot of these are very, very nice, don't get me wrong, this manufacturer's excellent, but it always comes down to personal taste, and when you get down to the point where everything's been sitting in the drawer for a year, it's because you don't like these ones. So pasta alle noci, yeah, whatever. So I'm feeling a bit behind the curve, I'm feeling a bit broken down by all this, but the other thing that's getting me nervous is that a lot of people that have contacted me saying, oh yeah, I'd love to do the Fastnet race or the Middle Sea or whatever. I've had lots of people who have gone through the process, got the paperwork from me, and are now going to be coming and joining me as a sponsor of this boat and of me, and the things I'm doing at the Fastnet, the Middle Sea race, and a couple for the Caribbean 600. But a lot of them seem to be doing a lot of like, yeah, that sounds great, that sounds great. It's like, good, but we need a new mainsail to do these races with. So if you are thinking of getting involved with this, csmthemariner@gmail.com, and we can chat, as I've done with all the other people, have an hour-long conversation, see if you're right for this, see if it's something you really want to do. And if you do want to do it, we do all the training and we do all the other stuff, and come and see what's going on. But also, don't say you're going to do something if you're not going to do it, which applies to me as well. Here I am sitting inside the granddad's shed from the state of it. All of this stuff actually is going home. This little packet here. The solar generators down there, one of my favourite pieces of equipment on the boat. I've been kind of making a review for it for like 2 years. It certainly must be 18 months since they sent it to me. I hate it when people send me stuff and then the next week they're like, have you done the review? I'm like, how the bloody hell can I work out if I know how this piece of equipment fares and functions before I've chucked it around? Like, this is a seriously useful piece of equipment which, you know, I have been using basically daily for a year. So that's great. Right now it needs to go home and get charged one last time before I go, as it's my kind of like get out of jail card. With that, I can connect it to the main engine. I can get a battery charger onto the main engine start battery, and if I can get the main engine started, I can get the whole system. So as long as there's sparks inside that box, I can restart this whole system. Got my new charge controller there, which came with my new lithium-ion battery, which is down inside there. We've got a lot of good things going on here. I should try and remind myself of that. Once this crap's out of the way, there's actually not much to put away, but 2 days of like not being able to move, not being able to get up has been a real headache. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit kind of pushed back, but I'll say this also, there's a lot of learning in this, and there's a lot of strong lessons to be taken from it, which I have learnt previously. Being on these boats, far away from anybody, with no support, that's a mental game more than a physical game. And if you do end up feeling sick or feeling low or indeed being injured, it can take it to a whole new level. So lying inside this boat, totally miserable, not being able to move or get off to go home because of the weather for the last couple of days, has been a low. But it was interesting to me that during the entire thing, I still wanted to go and do the thing I want to go and do. It is the right course for me. Whatever it is I'm put here to do, it definitely involves being on this boat and trying to go and do things which are supposedly impossible. We'll see about that. So yeah, just a little update. I got kind of like chastised last time for being all over the place with my like updates. Like, go screw yourself. If that's your comment, don't watch. Like, do you not understand how YouTube works? But if anybody's interested in just someone chatting to them from a phone for a couple of minutes, then hey, this is what's going on. I bet I feel better tomorrow. I bet the wind goes down and we'll have another part of the story. So I'm going to start plugging away here. I've got a little bit of something going on. Look at my poor sad coffee. I hate drinking out of the metal mugs for too long. So I like a nice porcelain cup, but it's not insulated. So I've got a tea towel wrapped around it. Oh, it's so awful. You know what? Nothing's that badly wrong. I can't sort it out. But I've been down. But that's... Someone gave me this phrase a long time ago, and I've used it, probably overused it, because of the nature of how I do things. But I was told that Icelandic fishermen have a saying which is farahei faraheo. I'm sure I'm completely chopping up that pronunciation, but it means what starts badly ends well. I don't want to make that like my standard operating procedure, but it does help to lift me, reminding myself of how many times that's happened in the past. So I'm going to start sort of getting my shit in one sock here a little bit. All this was on deck ready to go to the dinghy. I better get it back up there. It was torrentially raining this morning. And it's not done yet, but yeah, you know, you might say, well, why don't you just get off the boat? When you've got this many miles and you see a situation like this, you say, no, I'm not going to climb down the back of this bloody boat. What you forget here is this boat is shearing around on its mooring, changing its angle. Look at that, look at that. So when I get in the dinghy is moving. I'm not going to move the boat into a moving boat in 35 knots when my onwards task from now, it was 35 knots yesterday, my onwards task from now is to sail across the bloody Atlantic solar. That's not a good use of the available luck points that I've got. So I'm going to get back inside the boat, retop up the coffee, see if this lot goes down. I'm obviously feeling a bit bad. Look at the bloody angle. The boat's sailing. Look at it. The boat's sailing, we're not even moving. Alright, I'll come back with a more upbeat update later on. But for now, I'm just going to ignore all that.